Hey yo, what's happening everyone? OG Customs here. What we are going to talk about today is something I see way too rarely. Actually, to be honest, I've never really seen this covered in a video before. And that is buying gear. How do I buy gear when I'm not level 80 yet? Where do I get my equipment from? Where do I get runes? Or better to say, how do I use the runes if I'm not level 80? Those are the questions I want to answer really quick. So, everyone knows the usual thing. Once you hit level 80, you go for exotic gear, maybe even ascended gear. But what if you're not level 80 yet? What are you supposed to do? All those guides on YouTube don't really help you at that point. Well, first of all, there's a very simple option. Every 10 level, you can go to the merchant in any capital city, no matter which race, and just buy armor and weapons. On top of that, you can even pre-buy gear for the next 10 levels. Does that really make sense? Not really. Do you actually need to do that? Nope. Do I still do it anyway? Yes. All true, I have to say. If you're already struggling with inventory space early on because you haven't unlocked many bags yet, then honestly, better don't do it. Who knows, you might find better gear while leveling anyway, because you also get gear just from leveling up. Now, the gear you can buy from merchants isn't really more expensive or cheaper compared to the trading post. The advantage is just that you don't have to keep searching. It's right there. On top of that, you can put runes into your gear. Unlike at level 60 and above, where you usually already have at least exotic gear, here you have to be a bit more careful with how you are using runes. A lot of runes are limited to 2 bonuses at lower levels. For example, you might get power from the first rune and maybe vitality or toughness from the second one. But since you have 6 armor pieces, and this is just my personal preference, I usually take 6 different runes where the first bonus always gives power. Because, let's be honest, the best stats for normal PvE leveling are power, precision and ferocity. In short, berserker stats. And since you can't really stack those 3 stats, we just focus on power first. Why power? Because we want to deal damage. Will we take more damage because we have less toughness or vitality? Yes. We will still get through content just fine? Also yes. Will we get through it faster? Definitely. What else can you do? Well, with unidentified gear, you can kind of gamble a bit. With some luck, you might get one of the 3 armor types, heavy, medium or light. And then it also has to be exactly that piece you need. If not, you just salvage it or sell it. If you can't use a trading post, for example because you're capped on a new account or playing a free-to-play account, then the whole rune strategy doesn't make really much sense. Why? Because yes, you can technically farm runes, but by the time you farm enough, you'll probably already be level 80 anyway. So in that case, use the trading post if you can. If not, you have to wait till you can use it. Once we have our runes and our gear, we can easily keep using the same equipment for 10, maybe even 20 levels. Early on it might feel a bit rough, but over time you get into the flow. And you can always decide for yourself, okay, I'll buy gear at level 30, and the next set at level 50, and the last one at level 70. And after that, I switch to exotic gear. Then you can start running fractals, farming dungeons. All through, you can technically do dungeons early as well, no problem at all. It just matters more once you're aiming for max gear. There's also the option to buy gear from karma vendors. By the way, those are the heart NPCs from the hearts. But let's be honest, If you start in Queensdale and you already have the quest up to level 10, just continue the story. You're probably already level 15, 16 or 17 by then. Buying a level 10 gear set at that point doesn't feel great anymore. And you'd also be relying on low level hearts that gives less rewards because they designed for level 3 or 4 areas. Can you still do it between? Sure, absolutely, why not? Now that we bought our armor, weapons and runes, we can see it really wasn't that expensive. If you're able to use the trading post, you can. And I'm really saying only in absolute emergency case. Sell a few materials to get the silver you need to buy your gear. I didn't say that. But seriously, quest, do events, focus on completing the character adventure guide, follow the guide as much as possible, and you'll get money and XP incredible fast. And most importantly, the XP from the adventure guide is scaled. That means you might get, for example, 50% of a level at level 10, but you also get 50% of a level at level 70. So don't stress about it. Buy your gear, get yourself ready, and prepare for the road toward exotic gear.